Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, September 21st. Thank you so much for joining into our HCR webinars that we run weekly. We've been running these webinars for over 3 years now, and hopefully you still find them a source of good information and helpful in your marketing and support of your clients in the individual and group markets. My name is Deb Wilkinson. I'm the Vice President of the Health Plan Options Department here at URL. This webinar is specific to the under 65 market, so please don't mistake any of this information as having any effect on the Medicare, the senior market. So with that, let's just start. Again, if you're new to this format, you can ask questions, and we encourage you to ask questions. And you can ask them in two different ways. You can either click the hand icon on the control panel to the right of your screen, or you can type in your question in the question box, and I'll answer that at the end of the session. So again, thank you for joining in. Let's just jump right into this new administration and what's going on in Washington relative to repeal and replace or any new proposals for health insurance moving forward into 2018. So my head spins. Honestly, there's so much out there being thrown against the wall, seeing what sticks, and it's almost like they're in this death spiral move to try to get something through, because if a vote or a decision is not made by a simple majority before the 30th, then it goes into where it has to have the majority, and that's probably going to be difficult to do, because quite frankly they have trouble even getting the 51 votes. So it is back on the table. I don't think it ever went off the table. It's just kind of reincarnating itself. The cost share reduction confirmation, I don't know that we'll ever get that. I do find it hard to believe that President Trump would pull that, knowing what effect that could have on 2018 individual premiums. But stranger things have happened. I don't think he's going to show his cards until budget talks, tax reform, all those items that he wants to get through will be completed. So cost share reduction, if I were a betting woman, and I am, I would say that that's probably going to be confirmed for at least the balance of the year. The individual tax penalty enforcement, that's another one. I'm not sure. I'm getting mixed signals, as I'm sure many of you are, as to what the IRS will or won't do. They of course announced that if the box was not checked on your tax return that you had qualified coverage, that they weren't going to kick that tax form out and come after you, but they still have the ability to do so. So at this point, I can't even say that it will be enforced or not be enforced, but I can tell you that it is the law of the land. So if you're out there advising your clients, you have to let them know that it is a possibility that it could still be enforced, because again, it is the law. So what's heading to the floor? Well, Sanders' Medicare for All, that's hitting the floor and probably will go nowhere. Lindsey Graham's state grant waiver program, that seems to have the most teeth to it. And we've talked a little bit about this before, the Graham-Cassidy bill, where essentially it allows, it eliminates the individual and employer mandates, the tax penalty for the individual and the mandate for the employer with the penalties. It confirms the cost share reductions. It allows states with grants to create their own healthcare plans. The real pushback that is coming from that is that some of the more vulnerable states will actually be getting less than they are under the current plan. So how do you do more with less dollars as all these states face their own budget dilemmas? So I don't know. Is it going to be better than anything out there now? I don't know. But I wish something would happen that the market does stabilize in some level. Susan Collins and Nelson introduced the Reinsurance Act of 2017, where it gives $2.25 billion to help states with high-risk enrollees. Who knows? It may end up just coming to that, throwing more money to support this god-awful law. and we'll find out soon, I'm sure. The Senator Lamar Alexander's health committee meetings that we talked about in the last couple of weeks, where he met with the state insurance commissioners as well as the governors, and then the third day with insurance entities. That's done. Nothing came of that. No consensus could be reached that would help get anything through the Senate. So unfortunately, that was just a huge waste of time, where everybody got a platform to individually say how it was working in their states or not working in their states. And of course, that seemed to fall along political lines, whether they felt that it was working within the state or not working. So again, nothing there. And I put this in, bottom line, the market is still volatile on the individual side and the group. And I don't expect anything transformative to happen with only, 4 or 5 session days left before the 30th. So I think this is it. I think we're stuck with what it is. Hopefully we'll get some news that will help the insurance commissioners of the state approve rates that are appropriate and not too terribly high to adversely affect a lot of folks. But I don't expect that to happen. So that's the state of the union as it is right now. On a positive note, we talked about this last week. National General short-term medical products came out with a pretty innovative process, and I do think it is an opportunity for those individuals and families in 2018 that are aware of the risks associated with it, that they could be faced with the tax penalty is certainly one of the risks. That pre-existing is not covered certainly is one of the risks. The beauty of this is that as of 1/1, you can go into the National General short-term medical link and purchase 4 consecutive 89-day policies to get them through to the end of the year. So you make application once. It is 4 separate policies, 4 separate deductible resets, pre-X clauses, but it's a once and done enrollment process. Within that link, there are opportunities to sell dental, there are opportunities to sell accident, and some other programs as well. We did have a lot of folks taking advantage of this last year when it was still, viable to do, but I do think the way it's positioned this year and the way the volatility of the market is, that I think many people will look at this as an opportunity and say, to heck with the risk of paying a tax penalty. This is what I can afford. This is what I want. So if you want information on it, let me know. If you're not appointed with National General, let me know that as well. We can get you up and running and get your own personalized link that you can put on your site, or you can make application with your client. So again, an opportunity for those that are still in that individual market, risks and all. Highmark released, and I did not get this into my newsletter because it came in late yesterday. They released information on their 2018 under 65 attestation and ethics training for the under 65 market. They are going to be sending you an email with a link. There are instructions on what to do with that. If you did it last year, you're familiar with the process. It's a short process to go in and just attest that you're ethical, etc. I did include this information in my handout, which is in the control panel to the right of your screen, because I did want you to certainly have this information. If you can't, for some reason, get that handout, print it out, then let me know, and I'm happy to email that to you. But it will be prompted and originate from Highmark. So if you get an email from Highmark, these are the instructions on what you need to do with it. And nothing can start until you get that email. Next, many of you received information about our new strategic partner for Independence Blue Cross. Our former partner, Bannon Associates, was purchased by a local general agency. We have decided to work with a partner that we already work with, and that is Savoy Associates. So you have been receiving emails about that information, whether you want to transition to Savoy with us or stay with the general agency you're now assigned to. And also for those of you that have individual or group business on the books, you'll receive separate emails with letters to do a block transfer to Savoy, again, if that is something that you want to do and to have your business follow you. So you'll get information from me on that. If you have questions, just let me know. Aetna AFA, I think this is great news for the Aetna Funding Advantage, the self-insured programs that are available for 5 to 50. In 2018, for new and renewing business on the AFA, they are going to be preparing and providing to the employees the 1095 forms. I think that's great. That's kind of a labor-intensive process that a lot of these folks that have been jumping into the self-insured market were not prepared for, have never done before, and it was kind of foreign to them. So this kind of closes up that loop, and I think that's a great thing from Aetna to do. So take a look at the Aetna AFA. If you want it quoted, we can certainly quote things for you in the 5 to 50 market for them. Upcoming product training for 18, there is information in my newsletter. You're going to want to start watching that segment within my newsletter that comes out every Thursday, because as we get more information on what you need to do do any specific product certification or attestation, or sending your FFM certificates for 2018 to a particular carrier, we're going to have that information in the training session. Also, as these carriers are getting ready for 2018, they're all having training session, product release session. So there are just too many to mention. So please just check out my newsletter. There are links within there to register directly with the carriers, pardon me, for these training sessions. So, you know, go ahead and do so. But I'll say it one more time. Please check that training. Because if you're not getting notified directly from the carrier, that's going to be your source from us to know where these training sessions are and if you have any interest in attending. And that's it. That brings us up to the end of our agenda. We're going to open it up for questions now. Just as a reminder, when you're forming your questions, our next webinar is Thursday the 28th, next Thursday at 9:30. And let's see how many questions we have coming in here. Looks like none again. None again. Kim asked if Bannet, did I say Bannet was sold? Bannet was sold, yes. Bannet was purchased by USI / Emerson Reed. So that is who they sold to, and they are now transitioning out of the business, quite frankly. And good for them on the retirement. Anyway, that's it. That's all the questions we have. As always, I really appreciate everyone joining in, especially as we are essentially in fourth quarter. I appreciate everyone's business and attention, and I wish you luck as we go into this fourth quarter. We're here to support you. I hope you know that. And if you have any questions, just let me know. And as always, thank you, and have a great balance of the week and a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.